welcome to What I Eat in a Week. I'm excited to bring you along and show you everything that I eat this week as a vegan. To be honest, I have a pretty busy week ahead, so we'll see how everything goes. But this morning I am starting my day with a smoothie. It's very warm and very humid today. I recently got my VideoMic repaired, and so I'm getting back into having smoothies at the moment. This is a smoothie that I have been drinking for years, so if you've been around for a little while, you've probably seen it before. I make it just with some frozen bananas, ice cubes, some plant-based milk, as well as peanut butter, cacao powder, and some protein powder. I think that's all I added today. Sometimes I add like hemp seeds or chia seeds or something like that, and I use the vanilla protein powder in this, which I'm loving at the moment. So yeah, it is really, really delicious and so creamy. But yes, I am excited to bring you along and show you what I'm eating this week. If you're new here, by the way, I'm Amanda. I've been vegan for almost 9 years now, and I really love to cook and I really love vegan food, and hopefully this video will inspire you to try some more plant-based meals out at home. All right, time to get into the work week. I'll see you when it's time for lunch. So for dinner, I was in the mood for something warming and comforting, and so was my boyfriend. So I decided to make our favorite noodle soup, which we honestly eat this pretty much every single week. I make this really delicious creamy miso broth, and then into a bowl I put some noodles, which I put a little bit of sesame oil through, and then I put the broth on top. The broth also has some onion pieces in it for some extra flavor. And then on top of these, I put some crispy broccoli and pak choi, which I had fried up in a little bit of garlic and onion. And then I also top it with some crispy tofu, which I had pan fried whilst I was making the broth. I have some sesame seeds on top of mine, and my boyfriend has chili oil on his. And yeah, honestly, this always goes down an absolute treat. It's a favorite in our home for a reason. Good morning, good morning, morning, morning. Hello and happy Tuesday. This morning I'm starting my day with an adaptogenic hot chocolate, which I got from this cute cafe that I love so much. This is kind of like a ginger hot cacao is the best way to describe it. I love this so much. It's like so warming to the soul. If you ever have an opportunity to try a ginger hot cacao, I 10 out of 10 would recommend it. And it's actually quite a gloomy day out today, so I really felt like having something super warming to start my day. I actually have quite a busy day today. I had a really productive morning. I got up early and did a bunch of stuff around the house, which felt good, and now I really need to do a lot of editing. I'm just gonna make a really quick breakfast this morning, which is probably gonna be some avocado on toast, because it tends to be my go-to for a variety of reasons. Like, first of all, it tastes really good and you can do like lots of different things with it if you really want to, but as well as that, it honestly just makes me feel good, and I find it to be a really good fuel to start my day, I suppose. So let's get into breakfast. I'm gonna have it with my hot cacao and get into doing a whole bunch of editing, which I'm determined to get on top of editing today. That's my goal for the day with work, so we'll see how we go. Ooh, well, that avo is not the one today. Now let me just say, I've seen some comments about the fact that I cut my avocados like this sometimes. And let me just say this, I thought it was weird to begin with too. However, look how much of the pip gets stored in there, and like it keeps it so much riper, so much easier, you know? Like, I just feel like it makes more sense to open it that way. Like, if we're talking surface area, it makes sense to do it this way. But you guys can keep roasting me for it if you want to, but I'm just saying, I felt the need to explain myself. Okay, maybe I want 2 small pieces of toast from this end. Is this rogue? I don't know. I'm still in my pickled onions era. I'm making like 1 jar and going through 1 jar of pickled onions a week at the moment. They're just so good. They make like everything taste better, and I can't believe I spent 29 years of my life not liking pickled onions. Lunch on Tuesday was a little bit of a throwback to something that I used to make all the time, and when I was making this and then eating it, I realized why I used to have this all the time, because it's so good. So into a frying pan I put some onion, garlic with some oil, as well as some smoked paprika and some cumin, and I fry this up for a few minutes, and then I add in some tomato paste followed by some passata, and I keep frying this up. At the same time, I'm also cooking some rice on the side, just so you know. I also add in some veggie stock powder as well as some black beans, and I continue mixing this all together, allowing everything to soak up the flavor. And then into a bowl, I put some rice, and then I put the rest into a container to enjoy another day. And then I again halved it. I put half of this delicious black bean mixture in the bowl, and then half in the container as well. And when it comes to serving this, I put some coconut yogurt on top, as well as some fresh cucumber, and then I also put some fresh chives on top as well, and some lime to squeeze over the top. Super delicious lunch. Then when it came to dinner time, I started by frying up some onions, and then I also added in some garlic. I'm continuing to fry this all up and then adding some pasta into some boiling water. Truth be told, I was feeling super lazy this day, and I just wanted to not have to think a lot about dinner and just make a go-to for me, which is a creamy sun-dried tomato pasta that I really enjoy. I love sun-dried tomatoes so much, so I put them as well as some passata and some tomato paste and some plant-based cream in with the garlic and onion, and I get this really nice creamy sauce here that I add salt and pepper to taste until it gets to my desired flavor. Then I add that cooked pasta in and cook it a little further in the sauce. It's so creamy and so delicious. And then it's time to serve this delicious pasta up. Looking at it now, I'm hungry in this moment. It's almost lunchtime as I'm recording, and I'm like, oh, I could definitely go a creamy tomato pasta for lunch, because yeah, it seriously looks so good and it tasted even better. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I actually cannot believe that it is only Wednesday morning right now, because it has been such a busy start to the week. Today's probably going to be another busy day, so I'm about to get into making myself a nourishing and hearty breakfast. But to start today, I drank some water, and I also took my DSO1 Daily Symbiotic by Seed, and Seed have very kindly sponsored today's video. If you're confused what I'm talking about, this is Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. It is a prebiotic and a probiotic in the one capsule, and I take 2 capsules of this every morning. I've been taking the DSO1 for a while, and there are a couple of commonly asked questions that I thought I'd quickly cover in today's video. So probably the most commonly asked question is why I like taking the DSO1 so much, and the answer to that is I find it to be a genuinely great support for my gut health as well as my skin health, and I've become in a really good self-care habit of taking this every morning in order to support my gut health and my skin health. So that is why I really enjoy it. A lot of people ask what the DSO1 specifically is, and as I mentioned, it's a prebiotic and a probiotic in the one capsule. It contains 24 scientifically and clinically studied strains of probiotic, and it is designed to support systemic health. And of course, how are the prebiotic and the probiotic in the same capsules? So the prebiotic is the outer capsule, and it's made from Indian pomegranate, and then inside that you've got the inner capsule, which is the probiotic, and all of it is vegan and plant-based and all that good stuff. If you're interested in trying out the DSO1, I do also have an updated discount code. The code is DUX25, and it gets you 25% off your first month supply of Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. I will leave a link down in the description box as well if you would like to check it out. Thank you so much to Seed for sponsoring this video. Let's get into making some breakfast. So to make breakfast, I started by putting some red onion and some tomato paste into a frying pan with a bit of oil, and I started frying that up. Then I added in some chickpeas and continued frying this before adding in a little bit of smoked paprika, as well as some garlic powder, some salt and some pepper, and kept mixing this all together. Then I added in some barbecue sauce. I was almost at the end of this bottle of barbecue sauce, as well as some water to thin it out. And I continued mixing this to make some delicious smoky barbecue chickpeas, which I'm gonna have on some toast. So I cut up some bread, put it into the toaster, toasted it up, and then I put these delicious barbecue chickpeas on top, really quick 10-minute breakfast that makes me feel really good as well. So love that. Okay, I'm really excited because I'm on the Gold Coast for work today, and there is a new vegan bakery that opened on the Gold Coast that I have been really wanting to try. So I decided that today was the day. I ended up getting a few things just because I wanted to try a few things. So this is what we've got. We've got a pistachio chocolate brownie, which I'm so excited to try. And then we also have an almond croissant, which was recommended to me by the guy that was working there. I was like, I don't know what else I want to get. And the almond croissant was highly recommended, so that's what I went for. And then I also got a cheese and Vegemite scroll, an Australian classic, and I always have to get a cheese and Vegemite scroll when I see one, like a vegan cheese and Vegemite scroll. They're like my favorite thing ever. So, oh my goodness, I love cheese and Vegemite. There were literally so many things I wanted to try in there as well. There was like a passion fruit cheesecake, which I think I'll try next time I'm up here. That's honestly like a perfect cheese and Vegemite scroll. Let me try the other things. Yum, it looks so good. Also just like love pistachios, and I haven't had a pistachio thing in a while. Let's see how this is. I want to get some of the icing. My mouth's not gonna fit around this. That is so decadent and delicious. Okay, finally, let's try this almond croissant that was highly recommended. My goodness, it's so big and it looks so delicious. This is literally so good, and I haven't even got to the like almond filling yet. All of that was honestly so delicious. I will link this new bakery. It's called Made with Love. I'll link it down in the description box if you're on or around the Gold Coast and you want to check it out. My phone just decided to overheat, so excuse the aircon, but I just wanted to finish by saying I really enjoyed this whole experience. The food was good, the service was good. I will definitely be back, and I'm keen to continue supporting a new vegan business, so I'll leave them linked down below if you're looking to try somewhere new on the Gold Coast. It's in Southport on the Gold Coast, so like north side. Yeah, I'm gonna go home now and get stuck into some work, enjoy the rest of my treats for the day, and I'll catch up with you when I'm probably making some dinner. Once I got home from work today, I truly could not be bothered cooking a thing, so I got those black bean leftovers, and I just put this all into a frying pan and started frying it up. I can't say it looks amazing, but it tasted good, and I was able to make dinner in 10 minutes, so that I was grateful for. I topped it with some coconut yogurt as well as some fresh cucumber again, and then squeezed some lime over the top. And yeah, it was really delicious. It was nourishing, great after a busy day, so I 10 out of 10 would recommend. When it came to Thursday morning, I started my day by going for a little walk, and I went to meet my friend for a hot chocolate. She got a coffee, but as we know, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I had a little hot chocolate to start the day, which was really nice. Then when I got home, I decided to make myself a smoothie. I put some frozen bananas as well as some fresh strawberries and some soy strawberry yogurt, followed by some vanilla protein powder, which this protein powder is like the best protein powder I have had, honestly, I'm going to say in my life. It's a big call, I know, but it's so good. I'll link it down below. I added in some chia seeds and some plant-based milk into this smoothie as well. Kind of like gave strawberry milkshake vibes. It was really good and really creamy. Definitely going to be a staple for me this summer, this really simple smoothie. When it came to lunchtime, I started by putting some oil, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some smoked paprika into a bowl, and I mixed this together. Then I added in some chickpeas and I coated them well in the oily spicy mixture, and then transferred these into my air fryer. I don't use my air fryer super frequently, but when I do, I'm like, wow, I should use this more often. It's so quick and easy. I continued prepping some fresh veg, so some cherry tomatoes, some cucumber, and some lettuce. And then I put all of these into a salad bowl, and then I also added in some vegan feta that I had in the fridge and those crispy air fried chickpeas. I then also drizzled over a like mayo-y mustard dressing. Honestly, didn't put enough dressing. Rookie error here. I definitely should have made more, but I tossed this all together until it was all nice and well coated, and then I transferred it into a serving bowl and enjoyed my lunch very much so. As a little afternoon snack, I had one of these protein bars that I am obsessed with at the moment. They're really, really delicious. And yeah, always love an afternoon sweetie treaty. You know me. When it came to dinner time, my boyfriend and I went to our friend's house for dinner, and they made a lentil bolognese for us, which was so delicious and really nice to have dinner with friends as a little midweek kind of treat. And yeah, delicious. Love lentil bolognese so very much. Friday morning, it was raining. I was getting cozy and I had a new episode of Survivor to watch. If you're new here, Survivor, kind of like the only TV show that I still watch like constantly. I love it so much, and so I decided to have a cozy morning in bed. I had some Vegemite on toast and an iced cacao, and I watched Survivor, and honestly, this was just like a full Amanda moment this morning. Like, this is such a pure joy, simple joy for me in life. So that was really, really nice. The gloomy weather continued throughout the day, and so for lunch I just made a really quick pesto pasta, which was just some store-bought pesto that I watered down, and then I mixed it with some cooked pasta as well as some cherry tomatoes and some spinach. Honestly, just super quick and super simple to make, and I really do like having go-to meals like this that I can make when I'm feeling lazy, but I know still make me feel good and quite well nourished. And then for dinner, it was Friday night. My boyfriend and I had date night, and we went to this pizza shop that has about I think 4 or 5 vegan pizzas. So we got a couple of those to take away. My boyfriend had one with like tofu and kale and mushrooms and stuff like that. His was definitely more loaded with stuff, whereas mine was more simple. I just had some cashew cheese, some basil. I think I had some vegan, like house-made vegan sausages on it. It was really, really good. And then we also watched Harry Potter, because I've never properly seen Harry Potter in my life, I know, and recently my boyfriend and I decided to watch it from the beginning so that I can watch it, and I have been really, really enjoying it. I'm definitely a Ron stan, I'll have you know that. And then we also had some of these like chocolate truffle ice cream dessert things whilst we were watching the movie, and they were really good. I would definitely recommend trying them. On Saturday morning, I started my morning by making myself a little cacao. I also had some vanilla protein powder in this, honestly, just because I'm obsessed with this vanilla protein powder. It tastes so good that I feel like it adds so much when I'm having an iced cacao. So yeah, I mixed this all together, and then I had some oat milk and some ice, and then I poured my delicious cacao mixture over the top. Really enjoying drinking out of this jar lately. I don't know if it's just me, but I go through phases of like vessels that I enjoy drinking out of much more than any other one in the house, and I like have to have that one. Anyway, I also made myself some breakfast at this point and decided I felt like kind of like a toasted sandwich kind of vibe, but with some fresh ingredients in it as well. So I just had some spinach as well as some cucumber and some fresh tomato, and then I also had a hash brown and some caramelized onion like chutney kind of thing. Kind of a random breakfast, honestly, just like a throw together one of what I had in the home, and yeah, it was really delicious. Loved it so much. For lunch on Saturday, I made like arguably my favorite meal at the moment, and I start this by cutting up some tofu and putting it into a container with some corn flour as well as some veggie stock powder, and I shake it up to get it all nice and well coated before I transfer this into a frying pan and start to get it nice and crispy. Whilst it's frying, I make this peanut butter sauce with peanut butter, soy sauce, some sesame oil, some rice wine vinegar, some lemon or lime, as well as some onion and some garlic powder, and I mix this all together, and I add water if I need to, because often I do need to thin it out to a desirable like consistency. And once the tofu is crispy, I pour in this peanut butter sauce and I coat it, and it gets so delicious and so chewy and just amazing. I also cooked up some quinoa, and then I made like a salad situation with some red cabbage, cucumber and some spinach. I served the peanut butter tofu with it, with some vegan mayo and some sesame seeds. Oh my gosh, this is like super delicious and nourishing. I love this meal so much at the moment. For dinner, my boyfriend and I felt like having like some sausages in bread. These are my boyfriend's favorite ones, and then these Sindian sun-dried tomato ones are my favorite ones, and we also cooked up some onions to have in our sausages in bread. So I start by cutting up the onions, slicing all of this finely, and then I transfer them into a frying pan with some oil. And then as I'm frying those up, I then also add in some sugar. Oh, before that, I put the sausages on to fry up. So I was doing that as well. But into the onions, I put in some brown sugar, and I also put in some salt as well. And I continue frying this up until they get nice and golden. I had them on like a medium heat. I also made a salad to go with this. So I just put some red onion, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, and cos lettuce into a bowl, and then I also crumbled in some vegan feta and some salt and some pepper as well, and I also added in a little bit of white wine vinegar and olive oil, and I tossed that all together. So yeah, for dinner it basically was a couple of pieces of bread with some vegan sausages, onion and tomato sauce, and then a side salad, and we continued watching Harry Potter tonight. So it was a lovely cozy Saturday night in. And then Sunday morning was a cozy morning again because it was raining so much. It's been like really humid lately, but then raining quite a lot. And so I headed out in the rain to go and get my boyfriend a coffee and myself a hot chocolate. So I got an oat hot chocolate from our local cafe, which was so delicious and warming. And whilst I was gone, my boyfriend had prepared tofu scramble, which is like one of our go-to cozy breakfasts. We had this with some avocado as well as some fresh chives on top with our coffees and hot chocolates, and it was really delicious as always. When it came to lunch, I made a similar variation to what I had on Saturday, but I made a teriyaki sauce. So I put some soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, rice wine vinegar, onion powder and garlic powder into a jar and shook it all up until it was nice and well combined. And then I poured this in with my crispy tofu and coated it well and continued to fry it up until it was really nice and well cooked. I had some leftover quinoa in the fridge, so I put this into the bowl with some fresh spinach as well as red cabbage and some cucumber as well. Then I added that teriyaki tofu into the bowl with some sesame seeds and some pickled onions on top, and it was a very delicious, nourishing lunch. When it came to Sunday night, all I knew was that I felt like having some gnocchi, and then I was using up a bunch of other stuff in the fridge. So my boyfriend started by cutting up some zucchini and some garlic, and then into a frying pan I put some vegan butter, and then I added in that zucchini as well as some store-bought gnocchi, and I started frying this up. I also added in some salt and pepper to taste as I went, ensuring it was seasoned well. I also on the side made a pumpkin creamy sauce, and I poured this over and then mixed this all together, and this ended up being our dinner. This was such a hearty and delicious meal and such a beautiful way to end a very rainy week here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video and got some delicious new plant-based meal ideas to try out at home. I will look forward to seeing you next week with another video, and I hope you have a very beautiful week ahead. Bye!